Okay, then I think we can start. So, welcome everyone to this session of our community of practice within the Danube and Black Sea Lighthouse. Welcome to all Davidrest partners, associated regions, but also all further interested colleagues. And I would like to especially welcome today's experts in citizen science and community engagement. I'm very happy to have Mary Turo here from the Institute de Ciencias del Mar from Spain. We will also have Miklos Gyala-Korpos here from the Plastic Cup Society in Hungary. I can't see him right now in the meeting, but I hope he will join us soon. And then we also have Camille Janssen from Puls Aqua from the Netherlands here. So welcome everyone. And I would also like to introduce my Davidrest colleague Victoria from the University of Pannonia in Hungary, who will support me today as well. So let's have a quick look of what we have planned for today. So we will start with a very short input by Victoria about citizen science tools, which will give the session a little bit of a frame. And then we will have 3 expert sessions of about 15 minutes with enough time for questions as well. And then Victoria and me will also share some insights on community engagement activities within Davidrest. So, as always, I would just start with a very brief look back for those who are new in this community. So we had 4 community of practice sessions so far with different focuses and great experts in these sessions. All of these sessions are available on our Davidrest YouTube channel in case you're interested in these topics. And we have also created fact sheets for each of these sessions, so one-pagers that summarize the main takeaways and main learnings from each of these sessions, and they will be available on our Davidrest website as download. As you know, we meet bi-monthly and have done so for 4 times already. The next session would then be planned for August. I would just like to already inform you that this will be cancelled due to the holiday season, which means that we will then have a little bit of a break and then meet again in October. But this is it from my side for now, just to set the frame for this session. And I would now directly hand over to Victoria to give us a little bit input on the citizen science tool, which is the topic for this meeting. Yeah,
thank
please,
you.
Victoria.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Miriam. Thank you. So, hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Zuppon. I'm a senior research fellow at the University of Pannonia in Hungary. And this university is near to the Lake Balaton. So, we are actually right on the beach, we can say, our university. So we have a really good connection, of course, the lake and the municipalities and the others. So that's why, or this is only one purpose, but of course we have other purposes why we started to deal with citizen science related to the wetlands. So we made some analysis related to the already existed citizen science tools and initiatives. So some of the longest running citizen science records in the world are from Japan. For example, it was very exciting. For example, the timing of cherry blossom has been recorded in Kyoto for 1,020 years, so long that they have been used in climate reconstructions. The oldest ongoing such survey is probably the sea turtle survey, for example, which census sea turtles laying eggs on beaches. And it started in 1954 on the beach. So, and now takes place on about 40 beaches across Japan. And like in Japan, phenological observations provide the longest running citizen science data sets in the United Kingdom. And this is what you see on the slide. So it's from 1736. Robert Marsham started recording 27 phenological events, such as first flowering or leafing and the appearance of migratory birds for more than 20 common plant and animal species in his family estate in Norfolk. So it has a really huge and long history of this citizen science. And on the next slide, you can see how many citizen science initiatives we have already looked through. For example, from the European Citizen Science Platform, you can find 359 projects. And additionally, we analyzed the GRC's initiatives as well, collected by GRC, and it's more than 500 citizen science initiatives. So our goal was to identify key trends in the EU, best practices, and of course, applicable projects for wetlands, which could be applicable for the wetland, and find grouping methods for the project. On the next slide, you will see the distribution of the citizen science tools across Europe. And the major focus, of course, it's on environmental and biodiversity research. So we have established typology based on target groups, engagement levels, and technological intensity. And on the next slide, you will see what kind of target groups we have. Of course, first, this is the local communities. The second one is hobby groups. And the third, education-focused initiatives, which are focusing on developing scientific thinking and environmental awareness. And on another side, you will see that we have data collection, data analysis, and co-creation focused initiatives. And of course, we have, on the other side, on the other slide, you can see the classification by engagement level. So we have remote engagement. This is online participation in data validation or processing. For example, Proyecto COVID theme volunteers contribute computing power to COVID-19 drug discovery. For example, fieldwork-based projects, we have a lot. Equipment-intensive participation, where it's requiring sensors or scientific instruments, but we have as well this kind of engagement level related citizen science initiative. On the next slide, we have low-tech projects, of course, minimal digital requirements. Of course, if they don't have enough money or if they don't have enough tools, they can use it as well with this low-tech equipment. So often educational related citizen science initiatives we have. Web-based initiatives, mobile application-based, and AI-enhanced projects as well. On the next slide, you will see the inventory of environmental citizen science projects in the EU. So especially for the GRC, Joint Research Center, compiled an inventory of environmental citizen science projects. So the main goal was to support EU environmental policy by leveraging citizen-generated data. So the collaboration among bio-innovation service and the other services was established. The latest update, it was in 2022, and it includes, as I mentioned, 515 projects. And you can see we have more than 400 active projects. So the geographical distribution of the project, you can see with dark colors, they have more, of course, and lighter colors, they have less initiatives. And of course, the central and this, yeah, I said of course, but yeah, we can see the purposes, but the Central and Eastern Europe is underrepresented related to the citizen science initiatives. On the next slide, the main research focus areas related to the citizen science initiatives, this is the biodiversity monitoring. So it dominates around 70% of the projects, focuses on biodiversity monitoring, air quality research, and only 5% of the project focuses on water quality studies. So it's underrepresented. Especially it's of course important and interesting for us who are dealing with wetlands and try to deal with this wetland oriented citizen science initiative. So mandate projects operate at global or macro regional level and not at local level. And on the next slide, you will see the citizen science supports, of course, EU environmental policies. And as we see, we have underrepresented citizen science initiatives in that area, in that territory. And of course, we could look through some really interesting and I hope useful citizen science initiatives, which could be useful for our restoration and protection activities in the WetRest project. So I'm very curious what my colleague can tell us about other citizen science initiatives, because we have, of course, some ideas related to the most useful and successful initiatives related to our demo sites. For example, participatory experiment, it could be useful. And of course, it has to be at local level. It has to arranged at local level. But as far as I see now, that would be the most successful citizen science initiative by now. So that's all from our side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victoria, for setting the scene for this community of practice session. And it's really interesting to see the broad range of citizen science activities across Europe and across European projects. And it's of course a pity that Central and Eastern Europe is underrepresented here. So I think it's very important to have this session now on this topic, as we have a lot of organizations, stakeholders, people from Central and Eastern Europe in this meeting today. So I'm very much looking forward to this exchange. And I'm also, let's move to the next slide, especially happy to have Mary here. She is a biologist journalist with over 7 years of experience in popular and lifelong empowerment training, and currently working as a communication officer for the Pro-Bleu project. So a project that is outside of the Danube and Black Sea Lighthouse, but I believe we can learn a lot from their experiences. So Mary, the floor is yours. And please feel free to share the screen yourself.
Okay. Just give me a second. Can you see my screen now? Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for the confirmation, for the invitation, and for the introduction, Victoria. Very interesting. I hope that we can inspire a little bit people in the room with our experience. So as Miriam presented, I am working in Institute of Marine Science in Barcelona, and I'm working in the ENVIMOS research group, that is a specialized group in citizen science, and also leading the communication of Pro-Bleu project. The first goal of Pro-Bleu is to support schools to work in water literacy. So we had already this great introduction on the topic, but here a reminder about what is citizen science, this question about engaging non-professional scientists in the research process or activities, and to have ordinary people contributing to science and co-creating this new scientific culture. In other words, that Victoria also used this expression of the bridge, citizen science builds a bridge between science and society, and it has to be a win-win model where Volunteers gain skills and a deeper appreciation of science, while science itself becomes more democratic and brings evidence for more informed decision making. So citizen science projects come in many forms. We can talk about biodiversity monitoring, air quality assessment, or human health risks, or even diseases, as has been presented. And these projects often aim to solve a real world challenge. No? Here you can see different citizen observatories or platforms or projects. And our research group is working on MINCA, that is focused in biodiversity. MINCA, like other citizen science platforms, help school communities develop these open schooling methodologies, which seeks hands-on activities, real-world learning, and collaboration with the local community. So we think that it's an opportunity for school communities to use citizen science platform to develop this approach that is very useful and used today in school communities, right? In addition, in our case, that we have a big bias for marine, no, because we are at the Institute of Marine Science, promoting our platform MINCA in school communities is helping to develop the network of European Blue Schools. That I don't know if you know about that, but it's the European accreditation for schools that are mastering water literacy. You can find more information in the website of Network of European Blue Schools and also in the ProBlue website. Coming back to MINCA, so we are proud to be recognized project contributing for sustainable development goals and also an endorsed action by the UNESCO. And to give you a little bit an overview about how does it work. So it's a free platform where anyone can create an account. You can access it through the desktop site or the mobile app. That is already. Sorry, so it's already available in 11 languages, and we are still working collaboratively to add even more translations. And how does it work? First, users, as students, for instance, go to the study area. That can be a river, a beach, a park near from their school, or even their own playground. They take pictures of all organisms they can find with phones, tablets, or cameras. After, back to the classroom, they have to share these pictures that we call observations on the platform. They upload it there. And when doing that, they can already enter the name of the species if they know it. If not, they can do a little bit of research to try to find the name. Or if they don't know the name, other users of the community will help with this identification. Once this is validated, that in the case of MINCA, it's always reviewed by an expert of our team. Once this is done, this data will contribute to global biodiversity repositories like GBIF, where they contribute to real scientific studies. But also the community can compare their own results, their own data with, and use it to ask new questions or decide what to investigate next, and so on. So this is a quick snapshot of what we have achieved so far, almost 1,600 users, almost 400,000 observations, and 250 projects created by NGOs, schools, local authorities, and other groups. And what we think is interesting to use for school communities to use MINCA is because students can be involved in these different phases or roles that citizen science is proposing. For example, well, in addition to, of course, go to the nature and feel the nature and feel this connection, no? But for instance, they can be part of the facilitator group, like organizing these trips and these events, also taking the pictures, so acting as observers themselves. Also, they can do this task of identify using guides or books, identifying observations from their classmates, but also maybe from other people. And also they can do this role of analyze, understanding results, tracking trends, making comparisons, and so on. I have selected three examples of schools using Minka, and to give you an overview of a practical case. This is the first use case. This is the Escola Congrés Indians in Barcelona and their project Nature Baths. So every class from 2nd to 6th degree, they go out no matter the weather, and they do that at least once a month. They always revisit the same beach and the same stretch of the river, and it is like 30 minutes trip on public transport, so it's not very expensive for the school to go there. Once they are there, they take pictures about biodiversity, and they have also run mini beach cleanups. And well, by returning to the same place during all the year, the students start spotting trends on their own, seeing which species come and go or how litter fluctuates, but also how the beach, the sand, vegetation, and so on is changing during the year, right? Normally, the school run these outings on their own, but sometimes they organize workshops with NGOs or experts. So here we have a picture of one of my colleagues doing a workshop about the most common species in this beach. For the material, each class has about 25 students, and they are sharing 6 cameras. In addition, the teachers ask kids to bring any extra camera they have at home, or hand lenses, or even binoculars to participate to the outing. And on the right, you can see a screenshot of the Minka feed with the last records of these projects. And in this case, it's the teacher in charge of the activity that is uploading the observations, because we are talking about children from 6 to 11 years old. So everything is recorded and validated. And for them, the learning doesn't stop there, because when they are back to the school, they reuse these pictures for ocean literacy tasks. For instance, the picture on the top is a proposal, is a task to work on scientific drawing, and down is a maths and statistic exercise practice. Well, what they have actually achieved. So in addition to feed Barcelona's biodiversity database, they have already found 2 first records. So during a beach pollution workshop, the 4th degree students spot a pipefish on your right, and a little crab that have never been documented in the city before. So this is a great achievement. They were very proud, of course. And well, this is one example of what how they can contribute to research. This school has been accredited as a blue school, thanks not for the funding, but for the project itself, right? The second example I wanted to share with you is Like My Sea project. This is one of the winners of the ProBlue grants. Is being developed by Escola Boramar, also in Barcelona, and the International School of Split in Croatia. During 12 months, the students are running monthly snorkel and beach cleanups also to take pictures and identify coastal species. They are also taking measures of water quality, like salinity, temperature, and so on. They are twinning with this school in Croatia, and they are exchanging the datasets and building together a participatory guide that tracks changes on both Mediterranean coasts. And these schools also, they have been recognized as blue schools with this project. I wanted to share their own testimonial of the leading teachers. It's just 2 minutes. Let's see if we can listen to them.
It's a first maybe project where students develop all the activities from the beginning, so to creating or to exploring ways for sampling, taking data, contributing to the Minka platform by their own research, and also sharing this information with students from other schools like the Split International School in Croatia. But also it's a great opportunity to try to understand which are the main challenges for protecting the Mediterranean Sea, and how contribution within a small project is a big contribution for science. And I think that is the most important learning that rise from rising awareness to students and society in general.
It's been such a wonderful experience. Our students have been able to collect real-world data with sensors. They've been able to analyze it with graphical analysis tools. They've been able to talk to each other, talk to their teachers, talk to their colleagues at the partner school about what it means, and really compare different aspects of this study of environmental science and this study of our sea and our aquatic environments. And I think that the fact that this project has so many different facets, from the snorkeling and taking pictures of wildlife and identifying different species that are either invasive or non-invasive, to being able to measure things like water salinity, water opacity, water temperature at different times of year. Those types of things give students an insight into the sorts of data collected by real scientists. And I think that's something that's really been a great blessing to be part of this project.
Well, I hope you listened it good. The sound was good. They are finalizing this project now, and we hope to know more about their results very soon, but we are excited with their experience. Okay, and the last example I wanted to talk about a non-marine case that is from also another EU-funded project, Arsinoe, led by the University of Thessaly in Greece. So since 2023, 42 schools have mapped urban biodiversity, logging more than 9,000 observations of almost 1,400 species. In this case, University of Thessaly and the ECS Center have been verifying and validating the students' observations. The work began in Athens, but now has already spread to other cities like Thessaloniki and Kalamata. And one thing that is interesting in terms of engagement is that to motivate the schools to participate, they proposed 10,000 euros in prizes like cameras, field trips, iPads for the schools that are contributing the more. In terms of results, they are quite impressive. So during the project, students have detected 14 invasive species that have never been recorded before in Greece. And also they have contributed to Arsinoe project results. So you are seeing in the slide Athens map. The first map is about biodiversity, and the second one is about socioeconomic indicators. What they have done is they have overlapped these maps and other reference to finally identify, you can see in green, the parts of the city where urban changes using nature-based solutions would be most beneficial. For instance, to lower temperatures during heat waves. So for us, it's another just amazing project. And well, to conclude my presentation very quick, other impacts that we can see from Minka with the involvement of communities, especially schools. So in this case, volunteers' photos, I have the guide here. Volunteers' photos have been used to create this participatory guide about the fish that live along our beaches. That is available in libraries and schools, and it's used by other stakeholders today. So it's another example of output that we can create. Also, all this data feed today a public tool run by the Barcelona City Council that documents local flora and fauna. It used to list only birds and insects, but thanks to the Minka data, now we have these 3 marine species layers as well. Also the impact that we can have in terms of communication or with the media, because we are helping to shift a public perception. For example, here in Barcelona, beaches are places for sunbathing, swimming, and playing beach volleyball, but it's difficult to switch and to help recognize these spaces as really ecosystems as they are. So we are helping in this task too. And finally, I think crucial for today's discussion, Minka keep students motivated by combining this fieldwork, digital skills also, real research and the links with the community. So anyone who works with schools know how hard this motivation can be to find. And we believe that citizen science can be part of the answer. So thank you very much. I'm happy to take any questions if we have time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary, for this really insightful presentation and for bringing these great examples from the schools and for also presenting the results you have. It's really amazing how to see how this app is used by the schools to really spark interest among the students in environmental issues. And it has also been, for me, interesting to see this example of a twinning activity between a school in Spain and one in Croatia, because as we saw from Victoria's presentation, citizen science activities are underrepresented in Central and Eastern Europe. So maybe something like twinning activities could be like one point how this can be improved also in our Danube region. So yeah, thank you very much. And I see that Primož, you have a question.
Yeah, good morning. Gracias, Marichel, and saludos de Tenerife. I'm representative of Danube for All project, but my question is more like a question of a father. So my kid, there is a local school here, and I think this project could be super interesting also to implement similar activities in the school. It's by the ocean, so the question is very practical, how they could start. So they need to register at the platform, but then they receive some sort of support, guidance, or they are on your own and basically needs to develop sort of plan to implement activities. But definitely super interesting, and I think that the kid loves it, and it's always great for them to be outside and experience real life challenges, not only through books but also through the nature. Thanks.
Can I ask Miriam? I go ahead. Thank you for the question and the interest, and I can answer you also as a mother. So it's great to have at schools, in addition to motivated teachers, motivated families too, because all these schools that are working with Minka, they are supported also by families, because when on the weekend, for example, children is asking to take records when they go to the beach. So this is great. So in terms of practical information, how to start, it's a free platform, as you have seen, so they can create their project and just start. There are some resources about how to use the platform, but I will recommend to take contact with us to have a little bit more of guidance on this process. And I will recommend to everyone in the room that is interested in push ocean literacy in school communities to take contact with the local networks of blue schools that are in the country. So in Spain, there is a quite recent network, Red de Escuelas Azules Españolas, that is also co-coordinated by your institute, but there are regional points, so you can take a look to see which is the point of reference in the Canary Islands, and they can help you also to figure out how to collaborate, because once the data is there, it's great to have. For students, it's great to have a direct contact with research communities that are working on that and exchange and know more about the species, so to make a project that really makes sense. So it would be my advice. But thank you for the interest and good luck. Let me know.
Thanks a lot. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Mary. Are there any other questions right now? If not, then thank you again. Of course, for the participants, please feel free to also ask questions in the chat, should they pop to your mind later on. And then I think we can move to our second expert session. I think Miklos now joined this meeting. Are you here with us, Miklos?
Yep, hello, I am here. Good morning, all.
Perfect.
I'm also
great.
turning my camera on so you can see me.
Thank you. So we will have Miklos from Plastic Cup Society in Hungary. He has a background in bioengineering and is working with the Plastic Cup Society since 2017. So he has a lot of experience, and he is now also involved in the Dahlia project, which is a project focused on freshwater within our Danube and Black Sea Lighthouse. So I'm excited to hear more from you and your activities regarding plastic pollution. So please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Just the usual question in case of online meeting. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you for all the interesting presentations so far. And I'm really happy to hear that much about citizen science, because this way I don't need to repeat those. Instead of that, I'm going to tell you. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a few words about Plastic Cup, which is now more than 10 years old environmental protection initiative. The first race was organized in 2013 because it started as a race. And since then, we have collected more than 400 tons of waste from the rivers, of which 300 tons got recycled. And what more important, more than 1,000 tons diverted from the river. And what are the principles and the secrets? Is basically that waste is value and cleanups are fun. And I would like to return that it's a race, because we organized a race to collect the plastic pollution from the rivers, and it is pretty much a large interest for that, and we attract many people. Um, and during this more than 10 years, we realized that we really managed to build up a complex toolkit against the plastic pollution of rivers and an international cleanup protocol. And also we managed to protect the plastic cup trademark on European level. And by then, we not only work in Hungary, but also beyond, mostly in the Danube region. And how you can imagine such a race? So we have teams, and the teams just build a boat which is floating because of plastic bottles, and mainly built of waste. So already the waste collection is happening on boats made of waste, and we proceed downstream the river. It's a multiple day race. We sleep every night a different location, and during going downstream the river, we clean up the river and the floodplain, because it's mostly in the floodplain. And you can imagine on such a race, like 200 people there, more than 10 teams competing. And this is about, in nutshell, about Plastic Cup. If you're interested, there are more articles and videos online about this initiative. And I would like to jump to the citizen science part of our work. So the success of the Plastic Cup also is on the involvement of volunteers, because it all started with a volunteering initiative. We now have also like thousands of volunteers ready to jump into the process. And when you start cleaning up a river, you have the questions, okay, but where is the pollution? Where is the pollution coming? How quick the pollution is coming? And so on. In our case, we work mainly on the Tisa River and the Tisa River basin. The pollution comes from upstream, because in Ukraine and in certain parts of Romania, there is no waste management in place. So the population just places the waste into the floodplain, and the flood is picking it up and spreading that downstream in the floodplain. So, but we wanted to learn what is exactly the pollution in the downstream. So we worked at the citizen science-based process to map the floodplain of the rivers for the polluted areas, which is really time and human resources intensive. But in 6 years and in 5 countries, we managed to get the volunteers to walk more than 4,000 kilometers. And because of that, we got more than 3,000 registered polluted areas. It is still an ongoing activity, so everyone could join. And what's more important, we put all of these polluted areas into a publicly available map. This publicly available map is currently under update, but on the map, everyone can look for a polluted area. There are certain layers and filters that can be applied. So it can help people also to go out and clean up a section of the river with knowing where is the pollution. And what's more, all of the database is downloadable in an Excel file. So everyone can further process it, analyze it, and so on. So it's not only citizen science, but also open science methodology. If you're interested to learn this methodology, we have a hand guide, which is available on the internet, that includes not only this monitoring protocol, but also how to organize a community cleanup with the involvement of locals, volunteers. This is available online. And what's more, this helped Plastic Cup to also gain some attention in the scientific area. And using that, we built up many cooperation with academic partners in Hungary and beyond, because we got the data, we know the river, we know the spot, but the academic partners have the infrastructure and protocols to analyze that and further work on that. So due to this many point of polluted areas, we managed to publish an article about that. And this lead us to better organize our activities, because we realize we really have something to do with research and something really valuable for the research community. And that also made us to think further our citizen science-based method, because we realized that, okay, it's really valuable to learn about the polluted areas in the floodplain, but it's not really fun to work in the floodplain with mosquitoes and alone and in the winter, in the summer. So the fun factor was somewhere missing, but it still was a success. So we realized to use bottles. And I wonder if you have ever found a message in a bottle, because we have found a lot during the 10 years of our constant cleanup actions. And it's an ancient method to use bottles as a message carrier. And actually, we were also surprised how many messages we have found. We have a lot of archive of that. We scan the messages and so on. So we have a kind of library of that. Me personally, you can see me in the picture, also found some messages. And these messages have really a value, because this message that you can see here in the bottle, this was really good, because it included the starting point and the date of release. It was probably from a kid who was trying to do some research this way, but we already found like love letters and so on. So we can, okay, this bottle was released in Hungary, actually, at the Tisza River in 2020, and we found that during a cleanup in Serbia, also the Tisza River, less than 2 years later. So that would mean that this bottle traveled more than 100 kilometers with the floods, and then stopped in the floodplain in Serbia. So this is a lot of valuable information about how the pollution can spread. And then decided, okay, let's make a citizen science campaign on that, and we call everybody to tag a bottle. This methodology was worked out from an Interact project. This is currently ongoing, and we have a protocol for that, which can everyone download to, and can use it as a message carrier with really scientific value. So you put the message in, you make some registration and administrative job, close it, and the bottle is released. Actually, we hate to put something into the water, but sometimes it can really have a value. And we not only put the bottles, but we found also. Actually, just last week we found one that was released this spring in Romania at the Samos River by a school. And we found it at the Tisza River in Hungary, which traveled like near 100 kilometers in 50 days. So this is really valuable information if someone wants to understand and learn the plastic pollution dynamics. So this is the number of release bottles. Probably it's already outdated because it's a continuously ongoing activity. And what's more, this is also on a map. So everyone can see the release bottles on a map, and probably also the found bottles. If you want to get involved in, you can check the website and also scan the QR code. You are very welcome to do that. And then the question is how we can reach the schools. We believe that really schools are really important in environmental awareness raising and education. So we established the River Saver School Network, which already have many schools in the Danube Basin, and we worked at a curriculum for these schools, which is the River Saver Handbook. That's also available, and we really open for any schools to join this River Saver network. They can learn about the rivers, they can learn how to act for the rivers, how to feel responsible for the rivers, and they can have fun. They can release bottles, they can check for bottles in the floodplain, learn if someone released the bottle upstream of them, and what's more important, they can also adapt a river shore, that they take care of that. You can imagine that if you're a school in a settlement at the river, they adopt a shore in the settlement that they can take care of it. They go there frequently. They enjoy the river, not just clean up the shore, because it's also really important to establish a link for the kids with the river. And then we also have the microscientist tool for schools, which is currently under development. Yeah. So, but we also use the technology, not just the citizens, because we worked at the GPS bottle, which is a normal bottle, but with some electronic, with a GPS chip and a data transfer chip, so we can really track the movement of the plastic pollution. This is not the topic of this presentation, but we also have really many technologies like remote sensing, GPS bottle, and so on. Because combining the technologies with citizen science, we can really gain much information about the plastic pollution of rivers. And what we have really learned in this more than 10 years of activities, that plastic pollution of the rivers is really a serious topic. And we can have many volunteers, but it will be never enough. So we really need to engage local communities, local schools, companies, and so on. So we decided to put this all that we have in a kind of science of river saving and focus on knowledge sharing. So which has basically two pillars, which is the one is the knowledge sharing, like sharing the citizen science-based methods, sharing protocols, how to clean up the rivers, and so on. So it's active involvement, and then to work out innovative and human resources saving technologies in academic and industry cooperation. And of course, we want to do this available for all. So we decided to make the River Saver platform. We established the River Saver brand because of that. This is also a protected trademark. And soon, it's not yet available. We are working on that. On the riversaver.eu domain, you will find a lot of information about how to act for the rivers, including all of the materials you presented here, all of the protocols, and all of the things on which way you can be engaged and do for the rivers. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Miklos, for this presentation and for showing us the examples of citizen science activities in the Danube region. Unfortunately, myself, I have never received or seen a message in a bottle, but it looks like a really nice activity, and it has been great to see how you use elements of gamification in these citizen science activities. I see that Ekaterina has a question or a comment.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Miklos, for this very interesting presentation. I would like to tell that, it is, of course, controversial if you ask students to send messages. I would suggest that in your future advertisement of this, in a way, important activity, to say that you are allowed to send a message in a bottle only after you have collected 200 waste bottles or something like this, because otherwise it is a kind of it will not make reach the goal you have in this project. But it's very important to trace the movement of bottles. It's fine. The GPS bottles are very fine idea as well. Because in meteorology, I'm a meteorologist, we are used to use tracers in order to search and to investigate air pollution. Then it's more complicated, but this is a good idea. So thank you for sharing.
You are welcome, and I agree. I agree with you. I also hate myself to drop something into the river, but sometimes it is necessary. And to minimize the negative impact of that, it is part of a complex, to say, protocol, which is the River Saver School material. So it's not just alone just dropping bottles into the water, but of course raising awareness meanwhile. And we also want to have this bottles fund. So the River Saver School network, if you have more schools along one river, they can notify each other, hello, we just released some bottles upstream, please try to find them. So it's part of a complex package, to say. And on the academic value, we are in cooperation with the Budapest University of Technology and Economics, working about the hydrological modeling of plastic pollution and plastic flow. And they really need a real-time data because the models have, of course, some limitation. So these data are really valuable. But of course, we need to be careful that we collect more waste than we actually put back into the nature. But as mentioned, we collected more than 400 tons and diverted more than 1,000 tons. And I just want to show you a quick video if I have time, but which is like less than 1 minute, because already in this minutes, actually at the Tisa Lake we have a large-scale cleanup ongoing. So we have this morning the official opening of this multiple days cleanup event. So you can imagine how many bottles this, I don't know, 200 people can collect in just like 4 days. So these are the boats floating because of plastic bottles. And from today, they were just proceed downstream the Tisa River and collect waste in the floodplain. So we expect somewhere 6 to 10 tons of waste collected. You can see them here on the water. They are proceeding downstream very slowly and going out to the floodplain, collecting waste and so on. This is just happening right now. Actually, this afternoon I also will join them to help this work.
Thank you very much, Miklos, for sharing this, and then all the best for the cleanup this afternoon. I would say we can now move to the next point. So thank you again, Miklos. we now actually heard already a few examples of citizen science activities. And in the next slot, we want to share a few insights from Davidrest on community engagement activities. But in the meantime, I would also like to ask you to already share a quick reflection of what you heard in the chat. So, for example, one idea or one approach that you found valuable and you think you could implement in your own work or in your country, or something, one aspect you found particularly interesting, or just an emoji, so we can incorporate this also in our future activities. I will now share my screen again and then hand over again to Victoria to share some insights on training materials we have developed in Davidrest.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you. So we were dealing with these training materials preparation. So these training materials are related to the protection and the nature-based solutions. And we try to give more insights related to the nature-based solutions, related to the innovative sites, related to the eco-innovative solutions, related to the nature-based solutions, and related to the protection and restoration of wetlands. And that's why we have created these kind of modules, training modules. We have created 4 modules, and all of them, they are for the amateurs, they can say, so who live at these demo sites. So they are dealing with water, they are dealing with agriculture, they are dealing with small companies, but we think they need some knowledge related to the nature-based solutions and need some knowledge about the restoration and protection. So that's why, as I mentioned, we have created 4 modules, but of course, related to these modules, what I will introduce to you, we have some cross-cutting modules as well, which I would like to list of them, because these modules, cross-cutting modules, you can see in all modules, but not in a different task or different activities, but they are in this modules as well. So, for example, building networks or starting points for the sustainable businesses, or, for example, sustainability in action, or transforming SMEs for an eco-innovative supply chain, and, for example, value creation. So you can find all these kind of cross-cutting focuses in our modules. So the first module is focusing on nature-based solutions, benefits, challenges, and biodiversity protection. So in that module, the participants will have deeper insight about the core concept of the nature-based solutions, the challenges of NBS, and they can learn how NBS contribute to biodiversity protection, and the monitoring and policy background. They will get some insights and knowledge about it, and they will discuss real-world examples and monitoring strategies. In that module, in the next slide, you will see the learning objectives. So explain key terms and main features of biodiversity protection and nature-based solutions, compare approaches to biodiversity protection and nature-based solution, and discuss your own views, because of course, we suppose that they have some previous knowledge related to the nature-based solutions and related to the protection, biodiversity protection. So we will need their knowledge, of course, to improve our modules as well. So because I think this is a knowledge sharing platform, so not only a one-way knowledge sharing, it is this kind of modules and trainings, but two ways knowledge sharing platforms, or has to be. After that, in the second module on the next slide, this is a doing sustainable business. So they will get some examples and useful suggestions and recommendations. How can they this kind of innovative sustainable businesses? And in the next slide, you will see the main learning objectives. So they can identify the different targets in order to process sustainable innovative ideas, apply the correct method by which a change in the eco-innovation target takes place or is introduced, and plan the eco-innovative actions considering its impact also during the life cycle. So they will have a knowledge to do this or to handle this kind of issues. On the next slide, you can see the third module. This is a planning and development strategies for local and regional municipalities, because one of the more key cornerstone of this biodiversity protection, these are the municipalities. So of course we would like to work with them as well. So the process of territorial strategy planning, they will know something about the stakeholder involvement and governance model. They will get some insights. Designing balanced, sustainable and place-based strategies, tools for monitoring, evaluation and adaptation. So from our experiences, from our knowledge, we will give them some good or bad examples. How can they handle this kind of regional or local planning strategies at local level, of course. In the next slide, you can see the learning outcomes as well, learning objectives. They can understand the process of territorial strategy planning and implementation. And in that part, I have to tell you that we made this research related to the strategic documents related to demo sites. So of course, they have to know this kind of plans and strategies, but of course we would like to show them the EU level strategies as well, and the regional and local level strategies as well, and how can they refine it, how can they reshape it into their sustainable planning process. On the next slide, this is the fourth module. This is knowledge management and patent research and opportunities. And they will get some knowledge related to this intellectual property rights and knowledge management as well. And on the next slide, the learning objectives, they are about develop a structured knowledge management plan, conduct patent research using international systems, especially WIPO IP portal, and understand how to manage intellectual assets effectively. Mostly, of course, it's related to the SMEs or the activities of the SMEs, but of course, other participants, maybe it could be useful for other participants as well, and they can identify innovation opportunities and novelty in product or process designs. So, and as you see, it's a very wide range of knowledge and very wide range of actions and or planned actions or activities. But of course, it's also a platform for engaging them, the locals, and to educate them, and of course to get some knowledge from them as well, because they know the demo sites better than us. So as I mentioned, this is a two-way knowledge sharing process and platform. And one more thing, which is also very useful for them and for us as well, they will know some faces from the universities. So they will know who can ask after if they have any problems, any issues related to the protection, related to the use of water from the Danube River, or the use of pesticides or fertilizers, or whatever they are dealing with. So after that, they will get this connection and faces from the universities as well, and we have faces from the municipalities as well and from the SMEs. And it's very useful, of course, as I mentioned, because from the citizen science initiative point of view, because we would like to involve them to our activities, research activities, as well as I mentioned with this participatory experiment. So it could be the first step for engaging, and after that we can involve them to our research activities. I hope so. So this is the plan. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Victoria, for presenting these training modules that are one of the community engagement activities that we do in Davidrest. I would just like to very briefly share one other community engagement tool that we've developed in the project, which is a coloring book for children. So yeah, we also believe that restoration is not only a technical process, but social components play a very big role. So in the Davidrest project, we follow a holistic approach, and we also want to, of course, inform and engage citizens and be transparent and foster cooperation. So we have developed a coloring book for children as a low threshold entry point to raise awareness about the importance of wetland restoration. It's also an educational tool where children can, for example, learn what are wetlands, what are the specifics of wetlands, why are they so important, and why should we protect them. And this coloring book is currently available in 4 languages, so in English as well as Croatian, Bulgarian, and Romanian, which are the languages where our demo sites are located and where it's especially important to include the local population. And you can see here just a short extract of this coloring book. So we always have one page that the children can color, and then there's the little frog called Quinn that explains in very easy, understandable language, some characteristic of wetlands. And this coloring book is available on our Davidrest website as download. And yeah, that's it from the insights from Davidrest regarding community engagement activities. And also regarding the time, I think we will jump directly to the next expert. I'm also very happy to have Camille here today. She has a background in environmental studies and also a strong expertise in community building, and is involved in the Danube for All project. So also one of the projects within the Danube and Black Sea Lighthouse. And I will stop sharing my screen and hand over to you, Camille.
Thank you. I will share mine. It might be the case that I lose your video, so feel free to interrupt me using your voice when I'm presenting.
Okay.
Is it working?
Yes, we can see your screen, yes.
Super. Okay, perfect. So yeah, my name is Camille Janse. I work for Pulse Aqua, which is a Dutch-based company that focuses on citizen science for environmental health and water. Here representing the Danube for All project, together with Primos, who also introduced himself earlier. So really briefly, Danube for All is focused on the restoration of the Danube River Basin. It's a consortium of partners from 14 European countries, and the ambition is to develop a strategic Danube Basin Restoration Action Plan. And there's one work package dedicated to empower inhabitants, communities, and to use citizen science tools as a way to upscale these restoration actions. So this is something that Pulse Aqua is leading, and where the organizations of which the logos are shown below are all involved in. And I'm going to highlight a few citizen science initiatives and ways that we use to upscale them across the region. The first one that I would like to address are the water sport cleanups. These are events where people use kayaks, subs, or rowing boats to go onto the Danube and to clean up macroplastics, but they will also monitor what they find and take samples of microplastics in the water. Therefore, they They use a trawl that is shown on the picture on the top right, and these pictures are all taken during our first pilot in Vienna in April. But it's a method that has been tested with the ocean movement before many times, also in the Netherlands. And here I'm showing you the survey. It's a microplastic. So the type of plastic material, where it is, we take pictures, and on the right you can see the macroplastic hotspots that we collect and some screenshots of the survey. So also where this is found in the upstream, downstream, to classify this. Our next cleanup will take place in Slovakia, and we also have these guidelines developed to build your own trawl. Which is shown here. So this will also happen there. In a little bit, I will get back to how to upscale those initiatives and make them sustainable. But this is one activity that we're carrying out at the moment. The next one that I would like to address here is the river walks and the citizen science measurements of the water quality. So river walks are carried out by drinkable rivers, and it's a way to engage with people and activate them to care for the rivers. So as the term says, we walk along a river, and every morning we start the day with a measurement using this measurement kit. And most of the time this is done with school children. Last October, we performed the river walk in Romania, and there we had over 300 children participate in taking these measurements. And below you can see what we are measuring. So clarity, flora, fauna, bacteria, velocity. We use measurement strips, plant coverage, plastic, and much more. And on the small map on the right, you can see which areas we covered during this river walk. So a little bit about sustainability and replication, as the Danube for All project will take place until 2027. And also we are a Dutch-based company, so maybe we have less access to certain regions or knowledge on local situations. So every water sport cleanup we carry out with a local partner that takes responsibility to partner with local organizations like sports organizations to carry out, it's saying here river walk, but I mean the water sport cleanup. And each year, a new region performs a water sport cleanup and commits to long-term participation. So we started in Vienna. Next one will be in Slovakia, and then the year after we will do it in Vienna and Slovakia again, and another region will join us. In the river walks and the measurements that we take there, the data is uploaded on the Drinkable Rivers data platform. So this gives us the opportunity to collect this on a longer term than maybe the Danube for All project. And we also have sponsorships for hubs to participate in the Drinkable River Citizen Science program. So they get trained on how to use the Drinkable River measurement kit independently. And we also have created guidebooks for organizations and individuals to carry out river walks independently. So in case one of you says, hey, I would like to do a river walk myself, then we have all the tools and materials to support. And here you can see the Drinkable Rivers data platform, so you can see the local hubs that are taking those measurements that are indicated by these blue circles. And then under the Danube for All project, we have some initiatives that contribute to the upscaling of these initiatives. And one of them is the Healthy Danube Network, which is an online community for those eager to learn and collaborate and contribute to these restoration activities that are including citizens and citizen science. You can scan the QR code to also join this network and to also make sure this continues long term. It's hosted on the Action Hub of the Global Water Partnership. Another initiative that I would like to mention here is that we received funding from Climate Kick to host the Ignite NEB event, which will take place in October in Vienna. And there we will work on 5 challenges that are currently being formulated that are linked to water and employing citizen science using nature-based solutions. And there we are able to support with 10,000 euros to further develop those type of solutions. So the support will be given to pilot, maybe legal advice, or other support is needed. But this might be a beautiful opportunity also to scale up those initiatives. And then the last thing that we're developing under the Danube for All project is the Citizen Science Toolbox. Here it looks like a very physical product, but it will actually be an online platform that people can go to that would like to start their own citizen science initiative, and they can ask questions on maybe methods that they would like to integrate or how to do successful community engagement. Everything will be there to start your own citizen science project that is water related. So this was a short overview. Thank you all, and I would love to hear if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Camille, for this also very interesting presentation, and for sharing these examples of citizen science activities in Danube for All. I also found interesting that you mentioned that you found out that these river walks work very well, and that you are conducting them in the Netherlands, and that you are then partnering up with local organizations in other countries to also spread a concept that works to other regions. So that was really interesting. Do we have questions from the audience to Camille? Yes, pretty much.
I'm sure it's not a question, or
No, thanks, Camille. Very well presented. No, I would just invite all participants to visit our website and check. There are also videos of this the river walk that was carried out in Romania, and it was really, really. I was not there personally, but I saw the videos. Camille, you were there, and it was really, really a nice experience for all who participated. And by seeing the video, you can really imagine also more visually how the things were carried out. So definitely a very nice initiative, and I hope it will be replicated. And in addition, it's not the topic today, but also in the part of the same activities, we work with Camille and some other partners. We also implement quite some activities related to art and science, like participatory theater, traveling exhibition. So it's another topic, maybe also something to discuss in one of the future community calls, but very, very useful, engaging activities to attract citizens, communities, children, but not only children, to different, in our case, river restoration topics, but I think can be replicated to any other scientific topics. So that's all from my side. And thanks again, Camille.
Thank you very much for this edition, and Camille has also now posted the link in the chat for all those who are interested. Then Victoria, you also have a question or comment?
Just a comment, because it was really good to see how many initiatives we will have soon from the unrepresented area, as I mentioned, territory from the eastern part of the Europe. So maybe we will be visible, a bit more visible on the map soon. So it's good to see. So yeah, and it was very inspiring. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, exactly. That would be great if like we all could take away some inspiration for some activities that we could implement within our projects, within our work, within our regions. So if we could take this away from the session, then it would be really successful. So if there are no further questions, I would like to thank again all the speakers of today's Community of Practice session. It has been really insightful and great to see so many examples of citizen science activities and community engagement activities. It has been great to see this broad range, for example, with the Minka app that is used in schools and really sparks interest among students and engages them, or raises interest for them to be engaged in environmental studies. Then it has also been nice to see the examples from the Plastic Cup initiative, and to see elements of gamification in citizen science. And lastly, it's also been nice to hear from Danube for All, and for example, their river walks. And now I think we can all take away something from this session, and hopefully also adapt some parts maybe to wetland restoration and to our work. So thank you again to the speakers. As I mentioned in the beginning, the August session, regular session for this Danube-Black Lighthouse community of practice will be cancelled. So you will soon receive the cancellation via email, and then we will meet again in October. Until then, all the best, and thank you for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Miriam.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Miriam.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice week.